I have another reason that I need to do this. So this story is a little different, and here's another reason I'm gonna do this series I've been doing for the last couple of months now. Recently, something happened. I had a situation that I was very stressed out about, and it's something that really involved the law or could potentially be a financial harm and drain for me that truly had me freaking out. You know, when something happens in your life and you're just stressed over it, no one else realize the stress you're under because you're really worried and fearful about what's going to happen. Well, I was in that space, and being in that space, I kind of realized something, and he in a sense, gave me a perspective. And sometimes in the midst of your worries, whether it be financial, right? You're in pain, it's a medical issue, it's whatever is causing you stress and grief. And let me tell you, I'm sure if you've ever had any idea that the law could be involved in your life, that it's a scary moment. So I literally had something that I thought, you know what, this could be a financial law issue, and I was totally stressed about. In my stress, I couldn't do anything. I was like paralyzed from doing anything else. And in that space, you know what? God revealed something to me, and I took it to really realize His magnificence and His grace and His gentleness in how He handles some of the situations we have. Because I kid you not, if someone did something against you, right? They did something that wasn't too nice to you. In that moment, you're heated, you're angry, you're upset, you're gonna fight him, you're gonna beat him up, you're gonna do something, right? You're gonna retaliate against them. And I was in that situation where I did something that someone really could have had that moment with me where they were very angry and retaliated in some sense against me. And God, in a sense, worked it out that it became a different situation. So that's the reason why I host my music prayer worship call, because I think going through that journey, I realized God's grace in everything He does. So here's what I'm going to show you here. I kind of realized that, you know what, God creates miracles. And when you mess up, that someone could, in a sense, you know what, be angry at you, right? You did something, or you are angry at someone because they did something against you. It's like a reminder that, you know what, God gave me grace to say that I know what, I did something wrong, and someone could really have done something to retaliate against me. But in a sense, He worked the situation out that it actually became, in a sense, a miracle situation as opposed to being a detriment to me. So what I realize is, if you've seen this thing here, is that all across the world, right? We're in all our own small part of the world. So let's say, you know what, you're in this part of the world, you're in the USA, right? And you have a situation that's so troubling to you. It's getting, you can't sleep. It's just gnawing at you. You can't see a way out of it. The weird thing is that I realized by going through the situation I just went through is that somehow we are all connected. And whatever mess happens in a sense, sometimes it's like God trying to tell you something, trying to reach you. And that's the only way He could reach you, is to get you to see a situation, right? That is pressing to you. Because it's only when something bothers you, you take stock of it, right? If it's not bothering you, it's like, okay, everything's fine. It doesn't matter. But when something bothers you, you sit and you ponder and take stock in it. And that's when, in a sense, I feel God seems to be able to reach maybe me personally to say, you know what, this is the moment that I'm going to show you how I'm going to get you out of this mess, in a sense. So at some point, you get to realize that you're not in control, that everything is connected, that when I tell you to do something, that you are to do it because it creates a ripple effect. And sometimes when we don't do things right, things get messed up. And we see that in nature, right? You see sometimes in nature, things seem like it's messed up, but it's the same thing we do. You know, life is going on and we mess up, right? And we're fretting about, oh my goodness, I need to make this tight weave in my life, right? This is your circle. This is your home. You need to fix this and make it right. And God, in a sense, sits you down and say, you know what? I'm in control. I could undo whatever mess you think you've made right here that is not going to work out well. Let me undo it and I'll make it right. So when it's all done, everything in your life turns out well. The thing I realize with myself is sometimes I'm in the midst of it and I think I could fix it all. But you know what? I can't see out here. All I can see is focused in on here. But God's saying, I see all of this. So while you're in here trying to undo and fix things, guess what? I could orchestrate things that this one moves here, this one moves here, so it all gets fixed and it's all back in sync. So I realize we are all connected, and that the situation I went through, I was in the midst of it, right? Thinking about it, worrying about it, and saying, I don't know what to do, right? And this is going to be so bad for me, it's going to ruin everything. And God, in a sense, gives me grace and favor every day, that when I fall short to do the wrong thing, that He says, you know what, I forgive you and I'm going to straighten it out, that you're in connection with everything and everything's going to go smoothly. Just the same way He does this with everyone. You fall short, He corrects it, that eventually everything works out smoothly for yourself and in your circle and in your life. So that's why I call this another reason for me to, in a sense, give praise, give thanks. And that's why I host these music worship prayer calls, and I do them every Sunday. There's a music prayer call that I'm hosting this Sunday that you could definitely come out. If you're in any country, it doesn't matter. You come on out. It's going to be on a Zoom where you're just listening to some very inspirational worship music. So anyone from any country is invited. And when you come to that website right there, it says bit.ly/music prayer call. And if you're not quite sure what time zone that is hosted in, you can see the time zones here where it's Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific time. If you're not quite sure what time zone that's in your time zone, just head to this converter time here called worldtimebuddy.com. Type in where you're at, and then it will translate, in a sense, and convert for you what time zone it's going to be hosted in your time zone. So when you go to this link here, I'm going to orient you to what's happening there. When you go there, you're going to see a message from me kind of mention what the prayer call is all about. It also going to request that if you want to be notified of upcoming calls, notification of the prayer calls, you can put your name and your email in, and you get added to the list that when calls are coming out, that you can know about them. Now, like I mentioned here, they're hosted on Sundays. So some Sunday, maybe if anything changes, that's why you're getting on a notification list, that if it changes, that you definitely know that there's a change, or if there is none, that you know there isn't. So that's where I send people out notifications, let you know there's a call coming up. So if you're coming out on a call, you've seen this video, you're going, I wonder if there's a call, you could definitely go here and click on the link at the time the call is supposed to happen at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 Pacific time. Just click on the link and you'll automatically be connected to the Zoom call if it's actually happening and live that day. So that's why the list is here. You can either get on the notification list, or you come here every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 8 Pacific. Click on the link. You'll get connected if the call is actually live. So what I realized for me, that it was such a stressful time, that it really humbled me to realize that God gives us grace every day, that whatever our problems is, whatever we caused, right, in our lives, that we create, in a sense, harm for ourselves by doing the wrong thing, right? Someone could have retaliated against us. And if we ever get in a position where, you know what, you did something wrong, but somehow you don't know how you got out of it, right? It just seems like your wrong became easier and simpler than you thought it could have been. Because I was looking at my situation going, my goodness, this is a bad one. And then to come out of it, in a sense, unscathed. And that was the miracle through all this. When I realized I came out of this relatively unscathed, I'm reminded of His grace every day, His ability to really, if you mess up, to literally weave back a situation where you couldn't have done this yourself. It definitely had to be His intervention to make sure everything gets back in alignment. Because if you try to fix this, it would truly be a mess that you tangled worse than it already is. So my realization is that, you know what, when I have a hard situation, I really need to give it to Him, because He's the only one that could fix it. So it really turns out to be the way it's intended to be. So if you're in the same idea that, you know what, you realize that God deserves the praise, the thanks for all that He's done, the orchestration He does in our life to fix some of the things that we put ourselves in and do wrong, then I invite you out to the music prayer worship call. You could actually go to this website or click the QR code, and I'm actually hosting a music prayer call this Sunday. So you could actually come here this Sunday, click on the link here, and you'll actually be connected to the call. Hi, my name is Kay, and I host these music prayer worship calls that you're seeing. Now, I show people how to tap into their gift and make money online. So that's what my channel is really about, how to make money online. That's what I got online to do, was to try and find a way to actually quit my job and do something different to kind of make passive income. So I show people how to do that by tapping into their gifts. So you're going, what does this have to do with the music prayer calls that I host? Well, recently when I actually left my job, I realized that all that was possible, all that allowed me to do that was because of God and his intervention in my life in terms of allowing me to do that. I realized I couldn't have done that on my own, and that no matter how hard I wanted it, it didn't happen until I was in alignment with what God wanted and intended for me. So that's why I host these music worship prayer calls, is to give him thanks and praise for what he's done, for what he's allowing me to do constantly. So that's what I do. I really show people how to tap into their gifts to make money online. Chances are that's why you're here, looking for a way to make money online, haven't found it, have no clue why it's not working out for you. I was in the same position until I realized that God had a hand in everything that I do. So if you're seeing this, you've gone to this page, probably got the information, that's who you're getting connected with, is someone who's in that space just the same way like you are, struggling, trying to make money online. I happen to figure out a way, and I would definitely love to show it to you of how you could do that with, in a sense, tapping into your gifts and really tapping into what God has intended for you. So you could definitely feel free to come on the prayer worship calls and also connect with me in whatever manner that you think would work out for you, whether it be a phone call, a text, or actually meet me on WhatsApp or the Telegram group, or actually, listen to some of my videos on YouTube by going to my YouTube channel here. So in any event, I'd love to see you out on the prayer worship call, because you know what? God usually sends people a messenger and sends you the help that you need just at the right time. Maybe that might be our connection. In any event, I wish you all the best in your journey online in making your success.